Greetings, God bless, and welcome back. Sorry about the bad angle of this. I just wanted to review this book about the history of zombies, and it's pretty crazy. I I wasn't believing that there was real zombies as we have been told. I just figured it was some sort of vaccine meets 5G kind of a thing, but here is uh, here's a story. It's pretty crazy. In 121 AD, so the source of the outbreak was unknown, and I'll tell you the name of the book when I look it up. I think the guy's name is Max something or other. He's kind of this zombie expert. So the local barbarian chieftains, believing the undane to be simply insane, they sent 3,000 warriors, and more than 600 were devoured. The rest wounded and eventually transformed into walking dead. A Roman merchant named Sextus Sempronius Tubero witnessed a battle, and he didn't realize they were zombies. He just noticed only the decapitated zombies ceased to be a threat. He reported his findings to Marcus Lucius Terentius, the commander of the nearest military garrison in Roman Britannia. Less than a day away were well over 9,000 zombies. Following the stream of refugees, these ghouls continued to migrate south towards Roman territory. That General Terentius only had 480 men. Reinforcements were 3 weeks away, so he ordered the digging of 2 7-foot deep, inwardly narrowing ditches. I don't know what that means. That eventually straightened to form a mile-long corridor. It looked like a funnel opening into the north. The bottoms of both trenches were filled with bitumen liquidium oil, common for heating lamps at that time in that area. And the oil was ignited as the zombies approached, and then the zombies falling into the trenches were uh, incinerated, and then the remainder were forced into the funnel, where no more than 300 could stand abreast. So the general ordered his men to draw swords, raise shields, and advance. And after 9 hours, every zombie was decapitated. The still snapping heads rolling into the ditches for cremation. So Roman casualties numbered 150 dead, no wounded, as the legionnaires killed any bitten comrade. And that's just how it has to be with zombies and no known cure. Ramifications from this outbreak were both immediately and historically important. Emperor Hadrian ordered all information regarding the outbreak to be compiled in one comprehensive work. So, this manual not only detailed a zombie's behavioral pattern and instructions on efficient methods of disposal, it recommended overwhelming numerical force to deal with the inevitable panic of the general populace. So, the document is known as Army Order XXX V11. So, I think that's 37, I think, because X equals 10. So, is it 37 or let me know because I've looked around and I've seen something like it's like listed Army Order 36, but it's not this one. So this was distributed to every legion throughout the Roman Empire, and for this reason, outbreaks in areas under Roman rule never reached critical numbers again, and therefore never reported in detail. It's also believed that this first outbreak prompted the building of Hadrian's Wall that isolated northern Caledonia from the rest of the island. So, and it's the largest record. It's the largest zombie thing, like event on record. So that was, what was that, 121 AD? Then it happened 20 years later, 140 to 141 AD in Algeria, in Thagmagadi Numidia. So six small outbreaks among desert nomads was recorded by Lucius Valerius Strabo, the Roman governor of that province. They were crushed by legionnaires, so total number of zombies was 134, five Roman casualties. An engineer wrote, a local family remained imprisoned in their home for at least 12 days while the savage creatures, the zombies, scratched and clawed fruitlessly at their bolted doors and windows. After we dispatched the zombies and rescued the family, their manner looked near to insane. From what we gather, the wails of the beasts, day after day, night after night, proved to be a merciless form of torture. So, this is the first known recognition of psychological damage caused by a zombie attack. Uh, and so, all six incidents, given their chronological proximity, makes a credible case for one or more ghouls from earlier attacks surviving long enough to reinfect a population. So, being that there was one just 20 years ago, it seems like a zombie either lasted 20 years or zombie to zombie infected the past 20 years to reach this one. Then again, the next one, 156 AD. So that's what, 16 years later. This is in southern Germany, Castra Regina. An attack by 17 zombies left a prominent cleric infected. The Roman commander, recognizing the signs of a newly turned zombie, ordered his troops to destroy the former holy man. Local citizens became enraged and a riot ensued. Total zombies dispatched 10, including the cleric, and then there was 17 Roman soldiers that um, died from the riot, were murdered in the riot. And then the civilians killed were 198. Wow. So the next event is another, it's weird. This one's 177 AD. So it seems like every 15, 20 years. So this one was it was near Toulouse, Aquitania in southwest France. So this guy is describing a zombie. He came from the wood, a man stinking of rot. His gray skin bore many wounds, from which flowed no blood. Upon seeing the screaming child, his body seemed to shake from excitement. His head turned in her direction. His mouth opened in a howling moan. Darius, an old legionnaire, Larry, uh, veteran, approached to push the terrified mother aside. He grabbed the child with one arm and brought his gladius around with the other. The creature's head fell to its feet and rolled downhill while the rest of the body followed. Darius insisted they wear leather coverings as they pitched the body into the fire. The head, still moving in a disgusting bite, was fed to the flames. This passage should be taken as the typical Roman attitude toward the living dead. No fear, no superstition, just another problem requiring a practical solution. This was the last record of an attack during the Roman Empire. Um, Such subsequent outbreaks were neither combated with such efficiency nor recorded with such clarity. 700 AD. So this is a. Um, so it seems like the end of the Roman Empire. So this is 177 AD. So we've got 500 and some 600 years before the next recording, but just recorded as a snippet. In 700 AD in Frisia, northern Holland, although this event appears to have taken place on or about 700 AD, physical evidence comes in the form of a painting recently discovered in the vaults of the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. I'm not saying I'm saying I don't know if I'm saying that right. Rijksmuseum. Analysis of the materials fixed the date listed above. The picture itself shows a collection of knights in full armor attacking a mob of ragged men with gray flesh, arrows, and other wounds covering their bodies, and blood dripping from their mouths. As the two forces clash in the center of the frame, the knights bring swords down to decapitate their enemies. Three zombies are seen in the lower right hand corner, crouching over the body of a fallen knight. Some of his armor has been pulled off, one limb ripped from his body. The zombies feed on the exposed flesh. As the painting itself is unsigned, no one has yet to determine where this work came from or how it ended up in the museum. Okay, the next recorded event. So it's like there's like this dark ages, right? From 170 to 700. So 150 years later, supposedly, in Saxony, northern Germany, Bernd Kunzel, a friar on his pilgrimage to Rome, recorded this incident in his personal diary. One zombie wandered out of Black Forest to bite and infect a local farmer. The victim reanimated several hours after his demise and turned on his own family. From there, the outbreaks spread to the entire village. Excuse me. It's like dusty and talking dries my throat. Sorry about that. Maybe I will take a sip of water. So I will continue in the next video.